My favourite word is
You're scared of?
you. The top of my hair perm, so short around the edges. It's about working in harmony with nature and having the utmost respect for the environment.
Hey everyone, I'm Amanda from WAI. Welcome to our WAI chat and happy Friday. It's the first week of being in reopen we're level 2. So I hope everyone's had an amazing week back in the salon and enjoying looking after your clients. So WAI chat is where we can share and gain knowledge from influencers and people in our industry that generally care about what we do. So it is my pleasure today to have the awesome Mr. Scott Buckingham with me. Scott is the General Manager of Oway, New Zealand, which is a hair care range, product range and colour range that he looks after here in NZ. He's also a bit more than that. He is an amazing hairdresser, or was an amazing hairdresser, I should say. He's a mentor. He's been a previous salon owner, has a rap sheet of skills in the industry, including winning awards and education, and now he is in sales, which is still education. So, welcome, Scott.
Hey Amanda, thanks for having me.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Now, before we start, I kind of want to do a bit of a warm-up with you. So I'm going to ask you some quick-fire questions. Maybe we'll learn a little bit about you, maybe we won't. Maybe we won't like you after this, but anyway.
Maybe you'll learn too much.
So here we go. Favourite music or playlist at the moment?
It's tough. I have lots of music I love, but right now, Ben Harper.
Cool. Scuffs or slippers?
Scuffs, definitely.
How many pairs do you have?
2.
Favourite saying or word?
My favourite word is fuck. It's such a versatile word, so you can use it in many different contexts.
I'm sure you do use that word a lot. Your favourite drink?
Favourite drink is, I love my beers, my craft beers. My favourite would have to be Emerson's Bird Dog.
Nice. If you got a new pet, what would you call it?
Oh, if I got a new pet, if I got a new dog, I'd just call it Dog.
Fair enough. What are you scared of?
You.
Good answer.
Yeah, I thought so.
If you could choose a celebrity to go on a date with, who would it be?
Oh, I think it would have to be Lenny Kravitz.
And why?
Because he's just so damn good looking.
Fair enough. Now, last question. What is the worst hairstyle you've ever had?
Oh, geez, there's been a few, but okay. The all-time worst would have to be in the 80s when I decided to get a perm. So I had the top of my hair perm, so short around the edges, curly on top, and I coloured it burgundy. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Nice.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. And what was your outfit like that went with it?
Back in the 80s, I was a bit of a bogan, so it was probably denim.
Denim on denim?
Denim on denim, absolutely.
Nice stonewash?
Yeah. I owned it. I was all over it.
Well, thanks for sharing that. It's awesome. I'm sure our viewers will, appreciate those answers.
We'll probably switch about now.
No. So, Scott, tell us about Oway. Where is it from? What's its differences, features, benefits?
Okay, so Oway means organic way. It is a brand that I guess the forefront of, or the ethos of the company is all based around sustainability. As you know, when we had our salon We worked with Davines for over 10 years. So, working with sustainable brands has always been something that's been really important to me. And I feel that since I've been involved with Oway, I just feel that they're leading the way in terms of sustainability now. Everything that they do. So again, it's an Italian company, family owned. They come from Bologna. They have their own biodynamic farm in the hills of Bologna where they grow their ingredients for a lot of their products. So their products contain biodynamic and organic ingredients. Their whole, I guess, what they do is it's about working in harmony with nature and having the utmost respect for the environment. So everything that they do is extremely conscious and well thought out to have as little impact as possible. But in that process, they've created the most beautiful brand and really high performing. I think the one thing, because there are a lot of other sustainable brands out there, but look, I think for me, where Oway is head and shoulders above everyone else is their packaging. They have all their packaging is in glass and or aluminium. Glass obviously is infinitely reusable, and aluminium is infinitely recyclable. No plastic at all. They're 99% plastic free, and I think that's, as far as I'm aware, it's the only hairdressing brand worldwide that does not use plastic as packaging.
Very cool. It is a beautiful brand. And yeah, of course, the sustainability aspect of Oway is superior. So yeah, cool. Thank you for sharing that. I really wanted to chat with you today about our new way of hairdressing and level 2. Making the most of the opportunity that we've got at the moment. So it's been a really difficult mindset for us because we can only do one client at a time, and we have to space ourselves out. It takes a little bit longer sometimes because of our cleaning and hygiene regimes that we're doing. But I wanted to really kind of pick your brain about the opportunity of that, that some salons and some stylists actually have a little bit more time with their clients because they can't do another colour in between while they're processing. So I think it would be really nice to talk about customer service, number one, and recommending home hair care, because we all do this on a daily basis with our clients, but sometimes we are in a position where we're rushed and we're on a very strict time regime and we're trying to rinse foils in between while we're cutting, and all these things go on. We often don't take the time to really execute that consultation, that journey for the client, and also that follow-up process of rebooking and really giving them the opportunity to understand their shampoos and conditioners or styling products or whatever we recommend. So tell me a little bit about how you feel about the importance of customer service right now.
Look, I think customer service is something that's always been super important in our industry. Your clients, I think it's about building a relationship with your clients and gaining their trust, and making them feel special, and really being attentive to that client, looking after them, and I guess catering to all their needs. Like I say, for me, customer service has always been, when I was in the salon, was at the forefront of what we did. And it's treating every single client that walks into your salon like gold. They are there, so they're paying for your time at the end of the day. So it's about, giving them what they deserve, and being attentive, looking after them, and making them feel really special. Because for clients, it's not always about a haircut. It's about an experience, and generally clients will come to you for the experience of being with you, not just for the haircut, although obviously that's an important part of it, but it's so much more than just that.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. A long time ago, someone said to me, the stats on why a client leaves the salon is almost because of customer service. It's not because of the price. It's not because of the haircut, was wrong, or the color was not right for them. It was really about the experience that they had. And I think that at the moment, it's a really good time to focus on that as a salon or as a stylist, and put more time into the client's consultation or customer service, because we probably have a bit more time to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, like you were saying earlier, but because of the way we have to work currently, and obviously that's going to vary from salon to salon depending on the space that you have available, and being able to maintain the social distancing, and doing the cleaning and the sanitization in between your clients. But you do, most of us are going to have that extra time with our clients, and so it's important to give them all of yourself, and make them feel special and give them the experience, because that'll be what brings them back again. And like you were saying before, in terms of clients changing salons, generally it's because of poor service or not feeling valued, and feeling like they're taken for granted. That especially regular clients, it's easy to fall into a trap of just going, Mrs. Jones comes in for her weekly blow dry, for example, and you shout to your junior, take Mrs. Jones to the basin and give her a shampoo, I'll be there in a minute, sort of thing. But that particular day, that could be the one, Mrs. Jones might have had the same blow dry for the last 10 years, but that one day could be the day that she actually wants something a little bit different. So I think even for those clients that we have, or regular clients that we have all the time, you still need to treat them like they're a new client every single time that they come in.
Yeah.
One thing with when I was on the floor was every single one of my clients, I didn't matter whether I'd done them for 20 years or for 20 minutes, they all had the same consultation at the beginning of every appointment.
I think that's a really good key point, is to treat your client like they are a first-time client every time. It's very, very easy to get into that habit of, should we just do the same retouch? People used to growl me all the time because I'm really bad at taking notes on my clients, so especially when it comes to colour formulations. But I actually had a theory in my head that if I followed a script all the time, then potentially I wouldn't have fresh ideas. So sometimes being naughty and not writing things down, I'm not saying to do this, by the way, but it was a fresh, slate to start with, or a fresh canvas. Just because we did that 5.0 and 5.66 last time doesn't mean that we want to do a 5.0 and 5.66 this time. Is it working? Do we need to go lighter? Do we need to change the tone of that slightly? There are so many amazing creative things we can do with our clients, but sometimes it just takes a little bit of push to sit and really extract what our client wants, not just what we think they need.
Absolutely. I think part of it, like what you're saying there, is it's about taking a client on a journey. So this is one thing that I used to like to do, was talk about what we were going to do next time. What little change we might make. And it could be, you might bang a couple of foils in the front, or, you might change a fringe, or it could be something really small. It doesn't have to be a complete restyle every time, but it's about a journey, and then being excited about coming to see you again because they know they were going to have that bit of a change. Yeah. And I think as long as you remember what you said to them.
Yeah.
Because you might do 50 clients in a week, and you're taking them all on a journey. Over 6 weeks, it's about 300 clients or something like that. But I think as stylists, I think we're pretty good at remembering things. I mean, I always like my clients used to be amazed that you remember that they were, that their auntie had just had had a birthday that they were going to, or there was some event on, and that they'd talked to you about the time before, and then you asked them about it 6 weeks later. And they love that because it sees that you're absolutely engaged with them in that moment.
That's right. And I know that a lot of our staff over the years have actually written those wee things down to remember. There's a milestone happening, and it's like, I must tell Sue, I must ask Sue how that was last time. I think that's really important. I had a really interesting experience years ago, and it's something I'll never forget. I had a client come into the salon who wanted an appointment, and she just looked like she needed some love, to be honest. I didn't really have the time in my day, but it was the last client of the day. She was the last client of the day, and we all get to that point where you're tired and you sort of think, oh yeah, last client. Anyway, I spent that time with her, and the next day she actually rang me and she thanked me because she was not having a very good time. I made her feel really special, and that actually saved her life. It really did save her life. She was not in a very good headspace and could have easily have taken her life, is what she told me. But because I spent the time with her, and I spent another 20 minutes after her appointment just chatting with her, it made a difference to her. So always remember that story because it's pretty strong.
Oh, absolutely. And I think that there just is, it shows how valuable we are to our clients and how much, I guess, an impact that we can have on their lives. It's more than just cutting hair.
Yeah, that's right. And consultations, I think, is a big part of what we do to really understand our clients' needs. And often we miss quite a few steps. How do you look after your hair? Do you shampoo it every day? Are you someone that uses hot tools? All these questions could come out. And I think it's a really good time right now for our salons to be able to maybe just do a bit of a checklist on that. Are we asking the right questions? Are we doing this across the board to all of our clients? Are we consistent? It's quite nice to be able to look at what the processes are in the salon and make it better.
Yeah, absolutely. For me, the key thing to consultation, or a good consultation, is actually just listening to what your client has to say. I think we should spend, sort of 80% of a consultation listening to your client, and the other 20 is obviously about recommending but asking the right questions. And I think it's about establishing what they do day to day with their hair, their lifestyle. It's no point giving them a style that is a huge maintenance and they don't have the time to actually do it. They're not going to get the value out of it, and or the benefits from it. So I think the key questions are important, and but I can't say enough. It's about listening to what your client has to say. I think sometimes, and like I was guilty of this very early on in my career, was being creatives. We're full of ideas, and we just want to get those ideas out and do those things that we want to do on our clients. But we don't necessarily listen to what our clients have said to us. That's important to them. So for me, it's all about using your taring as.
Yeah, exactly. Because we're really good at talking too, so we often overpower them. Well, I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And I think for me too, at this time, is when we're chatting to salons, and you've had the opportunity to chat to salons about all sorts of things recently, fears, financial changes within their team that they can do. We as distributors and salespeople in our industry are often giving advice, and some of the advice I've given to our salons at the moment is to just look at our rebooking rates and having the staff sit and actually schedule the next journey for their client, because we're in a position where we're so busy right now. We do have however many clients to fit in after the last 8 to 9 weeks, but if we don't consistently keep them coming in, then our bread and butter can maybe dwindle. So I think that's really important too at the moment, is to make sure that we are rebooking and scheduling our clients in for their next appointment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think rebookings is definitely one of your key KPIs that every stylist should be working on. Rebookings is about future-proofing your business. You've got that guaranteed work in that book 6 weeks down the track. And it should be a major focus. I think at a minimum, I think that you should be have your rebooking sitting at about 75%. 80% and up is amazing. I used to have, my rebookings would sit between 90 and 95%. Because, and this is the other thing, you know, and I think right at the moment, obviously we've had COVID and there's a massive backlog of clients and everyone's scrambling trying to get in. So now that you've got these clients in your chair, it's about getting them rebooked and saying, look, you know, let's get you in at a day and a time that's going to be more suitable for you. If you leave it, there's a high possibility that I'm not going to be able to do those times. And also with that comes the risk of them going somewhere else because they can't get, they're ringing up the week of needing their haircut, and they can't get in with you, so they potentially are going to go somewhere else rather than wait. So I think it's a really good way to guarantee your business future, you know, down the track, and get that book looking full.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's nothing more rewarding as a stylist to see a full column. You know, it's really nice feeling to know that you've got quite booked all the time. It makes you feel good. So yeah, I think that's really good.
Absolutely. I used to love going through the appointment book, and you know, you go 6 weeks down the track and you're booked out, and it's a good feeling.
Yeah, that's right. The other thing that's quite dear to me, in many ways, is home hair care. You know, being able to look after our client while we're not there. There's a great artist, stylist. His name is Jules Tognini. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Mr. Jules. He often talks about how his clients used to say to him, I can never do my hair like you do. And he thought about that and he was like, this is something wrong here. He teaches his clients to do the hair the way he does it in the salon. And you know, that's pretty special because what it means is he's giving them the right tools to be able to look the way that they do when they're sitting in his chair. And that's gold. I just think that's the best way to think. But to often be able to look after your hair at home, you need the right products and the right tools. So I think that this subject is quite important. It's also really important too, I think, that we have taken money from our clients. We've given them a beautiful service and a beautiful colour and a beautiful cut. They must use professional products that we supply to them, you know, so it maintains that good work that we do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the key to your clients being able to maintain in between. I think with recommending retail, let me start by saying with what Jill said about actually showing your client how to do their hair at home, super important. Most clients don't have the skill like we do. I mean, we train for years to be able to do what we do, but we can simplify it and show them how to do it at home so they get a similar to the same result as what we're producing for them in the salon. But part of that is having the correct products to be able to do that. And so that's why recommending retail is super important. It's to the service that you're providing for your client. So I guess in my experience, what I've found is a lot of stylists are actually hesitant to recommend retail because they feel like they're, I guess, like, you know, trying to push products onto their clients, and they have a bit of a block about doing that, because that's going to add potentially another $100 onto the price of their appointment. But I can tell you now that all clients want to have products recommended to them, and it's all part of the service, and it's about respecting your clients enough to provide them with the full service. I think the most important thing is to change your mindset of actually how you look about selling retail. So retail, you know, recommending retail is not about pushing products onto clients or trying to make them to buy or trying to get extra sales. It's actually about education. It's about educating your clients on how to look after their hair at home. And so you're talking about having the right shampoo and the right conditioner for that hair type. Is it coloured? Do they need to have a violet shampoo or conditioner to help maintain their blonde or whatever it is? Do they have coarse hair? Do they need something that's moisturising? It's about recommending the right products for them. And we're professionals. We've got the knowledge, and it's about passing the knowledge on to them. Styling products. I find styling products the easiest thing to sell because you're using them on the client in the salon. And so you can really you can do a really soft sell with product just by using it and explaining what you're using, why you're using it, but more importantly, why you love using it. Because you're coming from a place, as long as you're coming from a place of honesty and being genuine in what you're saying, then your clients, they trust us. And so they will follow our recommendations. Now, not all clients are going to be able to buy product straight away or that day maybe, but it's about writing it down for them and saying, this is what you need. When you have when you're able to come and get it, this is what I recommend. Or I can get one product today. What is the most important product that they need to maintain their hair?
Yeah, that's right. And we are in a wonderful position in some ways that if we do have that time between a client, we can be asking those questions, how's your shampoo at home? Today, I'm going to be using, when we blow dry, this, and this is why. And I really think that your hair will benefit from that. And that's it. Use the product, smell it, touch it, get them excited about it. And if you get a no, it's okay, which is another thing I've been taught over the years is how many no's did you get? Because if you got a no, you did your job properly. You educated your client and they made the choice to either take that or not take it. And no's are good. Actually, you and I will remember we actually had a thing in our staff room. It was on the wall and it said, how many no's did you get?
Yeah.
And we celebrated that, it wasn't, of course we're going to celebrate the yeses, but the no's just meant that you did a really good job.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, I mean, no, it's a no. It's not, it's not a bad thing. But like you say, you've done your job, you've done your duty to your client and provided them with the service and the recommendation. At the end of the day, the client's going to make the decision whether they buy that or not. But if you don't talk to your clients about it, what are they going to do? Where are they going to go?
Yeah, for sure.
They're either going to go to a shampoo shop and be recommended products by someone who doesn't know them so well, or they're going to walk down the supermarket aisle and buy it while they're doing their shopping.
So it was always my fear seeing a client in the shampoo aisle because I wouldn't have done my job properly, and I know that there are circumstances where people do purchase supermarket or pharmacy products, but I would like to think that I helped them to choose the right product for them,
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think it's a great time at the moment to spend some time with your clients and recommending. But also too, the fear that is often in stylists' mind is, I don't know if I know my range properly. Some salons have a lot of product ranges, so they may stock, up to sort of 7 different lines of things sometimes. That's a lot of memory. And if we're very good at keeping with the products that we enjoy the most. So sometimes we don't branch away from the products that we potentially don't know because we're not familiar with it. So education with products, like what is one of the easiest things that you would recommend for stylists to learn about their products?
Okay, so the easiest way to learn the products that you have in your salon is to use them. It's amazing the knowledge that you can gain from actually using something. Look, I think, like if I use Oway as an example, I do a lot of product training and product knowledge with salons. Look, I think, and being a stylist myself, I'm really aware that sitting in front of a team in a salon as a salesperson, talking about features and benefits, and this product does this and this product does that, and these are the key ingredients, and you can talk to them all day, but unless they're using the product, they're not actually really going to understand. I think that the product knowledge side of it's important so that you know what hair type you would recommend certain things to, but to get a real feel for the product, use it. That's the most important thing, because like I said earlier, if you're talking from a place of experience and being genuine and honest about what you're saying to your clients, then the sales will come so much easier. And the only way you gain that is by using the product. Look, and people learn differently. For myself, I'm tactile, so I need to use it. Some people can read about it and retain certain pieces of information. But yeah, like I say, for myself, it's about using it, and that's when you gain your experience. But I think, and you were talking before, Amanda, about we stay within our little safety zone in our buoy bubble with the products that we like to use. What I would say to any stylist is don't be afraid to branch out and use products that you actually haven't used before. At the end of the day, it's a styling product, or it's a shampoo, or it's a conditioner. You can't actually do any harm to your client if you try something on them and it's not 100%. What's the worst case scenario? You have to wash their hair and blow dry it again. I mean, not ideal if you're busy, but what I'm saying is it's not actually the end of the world either. And then, but from doing that, you're gaining more knowledge. So, the old saying is you learn by your mistakes. And when you make mistakes, that's when you grow.
Yeah, that's right. And it's sometimes it's quite good to, we all have a styling bay, where we have all of our products up. But to be able to, say, take some away and replace them with things that don't potentially sell that well, the reason they possibly don't sell that well is because they're not favourites and they're not familiar with what it does. So that's a good wee tip as well. And another thing that I quite like to do is to have the staff take home some samples, not so much like sachets free or anything like that, but just take the bottle home and shampoo with it, bring it back, tell us your experience, the next person takes something else home, so that you do have the time to use that on yourself,
Yeah, absolutely. I think the other thing to maybe think about, and this is maybe from a business owner's point of view, and if you haven't got high retail sales, you were saying earlier, you have some salons that will stock several different brands. I would be looking at simplifying my offerings, and do you know what I mean? Like, not making it so overwhelming for your staff as well. When you've got different ranges of brands sitting on your shelf, and there might be things that they just don't know about, and that's why they get afraid and they stick to to the little things that they know. But if you simplify what you're offering, then I think it gives them more confidence to expand and try more within a single range or two ranges. But I've always personally, we've always just worked with single ranges within our salons, because I just find it easier. But for me, being with a brand is about being part of something. It's part of a family or part of a story, or do you know what I mean? That's why, when we had Davines, we wanted to be part of that Davines family and the sustainable side, the journey that they were going on. And that's why I came on board with Oway here in New Zealand, is because I love the story behind the brand. And that's, for me, you're selling a story. At the end of the day, all professional products are actually really good.
Yeah.
But it's about what resonates with you as a person, or as a stylist and as a business owner. So I personally think, keep things simple and don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah, that's great to take away too. We've got, if we do have some time and we do want to learn a bit more about the ranges that we have and sort of simplify things a bit, but just ask your companies, where are you from and what's your story? Why? What's the why behind what what this range is so that I can tell the story to my client, because they actually care. You know what, we care, but I know that our clients, when we tell the story about a product and where it's from and why we chose it, they're like, oh, that's so amazing. Yeah, I really want that. You know, so you're right, that knowledge can be passed all the way through. But again, I think the moral of the story with that was, if you don't know, ask.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, never be afraid to ask questions. If you don't ask questions, you're not going to get the answers.
Yeah, that's right. And learning now in level 2 and for a wee while, you know, there's so much online presence for companies at the moment. You know, none of us can really get out there and travel and do the same normal things as we used to do. So our new norm is to really do a lot of online learning and talking like this, you know, so which is often a much better way, I think, because we can choose it in our own time. And
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So at the moment, obviously, level 2, with the restrictions on within salons, I'm not traveling. I'm still working from home. But right through level 4, level 3, I've stayed connected with all of my clients, and I've done Zoom training with salons over that period of shutdown because they actually had the time.
yeah, good.
But the great thing is, with doing something like with Zoom, you can do it for a salon. They can do it at a time that's going to be most suitable for them, rather than having someone coming into their salon at a certain time and trying to make sure that all your staff are there. You know, everyone works different hours. You've got you got parents, you know, mums who are working part-time, or you know, everyone starts and finishes at different times. So with something like Zoom, they can be at home and they can jump on your Zoom meeting. So you can have people, and everyone can be at home, and you can still come together as a team, and still do your education. And I think moving forward, I think this doing education and having meetings like this with Zoom, I think is going to be a lot more common than what it has been.
Yeah, I agree. And also too, for those of you that use different platforms, not necessarily just Zoom, but most of the time you can record them. So if a staff member's working, but you're doing training, you know, in your downtime, you can record that and then send it to them so they can learn later, which is really valuable as well.
Yeah.
Well, Mr. Scott Buckingham, we've shared a bit. There's quite a bit of information there. I really enjoyed talking to you, of course, but what I actually enjoyed is refreshing. So refreshing, you know, the experience with our clients, being refreshed about we should be recommending and teaching our clients what to do and using those tools and spending time with them to maintain loyalty. So I think what we've covered is really valuable, and I think everybody needs a refresher at some point. It's very easy to get stale. So I thank you very much for your time.
Hey, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks
And
for
it's
having
nice
me.
to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
All right. Thank you, Scott.
It's a pleasure. Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye.